Sì, got some.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now like it's Laura.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great. Sounds like they were a bit stumped, yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome everybody to our festival in December. So we should have this one. Right, do we have any apologies?
No apologies.
No apologies, okay. Declarations of interest?
Nope. I'll declare I've got a district review running Bashford Council, so I don't think it affects any items on the agenda tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Judicial review.
Okay. Okay. I did raise something on yours and Aileen's behalf when I was going through the agenda with Pete earlier on, in that you've got a standing objection, both of you, because you're on the planning committee. And I note that sometimes there are abstentions when we talk about planning. And I just wondered, for clarity purposes, if on those occasions we should state who abstained so that you know that
there are a couple here that I will abstain on.
Yes, but specifically,
Yeah.
specifically because it's planning.
Would prefer that, thank you.
Yeah.
It's more for an audit trial.
Yes.
Even better if they can say that if they do step out, they record that, then that helps
Yes.
them with the monitoring
Yeah.
officer and things.
Yeah, I just thought it's one of those things that sort of kind of slipped. I know sometimes we stray and you think, oh, I should have declared it before you've gone into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just a little bit for us, but
Yeah,
it has to
happy
be. I thought you might
that,
appreciate that from both of you. Okay, public comments and observations. Do we have anybody who wanted to speak other than?
No.
No?
No.
So, KCC councillor reports.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's actually been a budgetary busy month this month. I had 2 decent walkabouts of Bridgefields with Katrina and Romy Eagle. Both productive. Similarities, a bit of crossover here and there. But obviously there's really 4 main areas that were addressed. The bus bridge coming from Park Farm into Bridgefields. The ANPR cameras on top of the lampposts that basically aren't operational because of some covenant between national highways that have the A2070, etc., etc. The fact that the lights next to the bus stop aren't operational.
Do the police next.
So there's lampposts next to the bus stop, adjacent to the bus bridge in Bridgefields. That hadn't worked from day one. Romy was trying to get them going. So what I did was I put the whole package together and sent it off to the senior director just under one from the top in highways, along with all the casework work, and said to him, like, can you get onto that, etc., etc. I'm hoping to hear back, and gave him a G up this morning, actually, if he was to send the email. Also being contacted by another resident regarding Churchill and Kingsnorth Road as it runs across, and the fact that they come around the bends as you're at that junction, which is an absolute nightmare. Obviously, I got an email, and you have to forgive me, so I still don't know the names of everyone yet, regarding the HIP, the highway improvement plan, what you guys have already done with that, etc., etc. So hopefully we can. What I'd like to do, to be honest with you, is have a walk around with KCC officer Kieran Doble, and actually walk and say, look, what are you going to do? What are you proposing to do with you guys as well? So that's sort of on the ground stuff that's been happening. Obviously, it's quite productive, and hopefully we can get some stuff changed. At Bridgefields, just quickly going back to it, the main thing that really concerns me, as well as the fact that the ANPR cameras aren't working, Avocet Way isn't working, is the bridge over the A2070 in Finn Farm Road. Because the S106 obligations indicate that at some stage, and I don't know when it will be, must ask Simon Cole, that one side of that bridge will shut off and all route of traffic will have to come from the other side. Now, when that happens, it's going to be an absolute nightmare, because you can just imagine the cul-de-sac rat runs that occur, because everyone has to come over the 2070 bridge and then rat round through the newer part of Bridgefields, back round again, etc., etc. So I'm going to personally push for both sides to stay open. Obviously, that's going to be a difficult thing, but I think basically if maybe we can get a public campaign behind it, which would probably be required, because it just doesn't make any logical sense at all. Both access sides to that bridge aren't great for a start. The roads are too thin. There's overgrowth, vegetation, bits of fencing hanging out, but whoever in their right mind come up with the idea is we'll shut one side off once certain developments have occurred, And there's more developments going on towards the countryside on the other side of the bridge as you go out towards the countryside. I mean, it's just, it's completely ludicrous and it's just going to cause upset to the rest of it. So that's like one of a number of things. At KCC, there's been a number of things that have come from the Reform administration in the last 6 weeks that are somewhat worrying, so much as they're going to close down a lot of the scrutiny committees. Most likely the cabinet subcommittees are going to be shut down. They're going to merge other committees into other committees, and it will not end up being vastly similar to ABC, in so much as we'll have the Audit and Governance Committee, we'll have the Scrutiny Committee alongside Selection and a few others. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? They reckon they'll save £75,000 in the grand scheme, but in a £2.45 billion budget, you might as well just throw that away in the morning. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because the scrutiny that can come from some of those scrutiny committees could save in the tens of millions. From my perspective, I'm probably too new at the game to say whether it'll work out well or it'll work out bad. But obviously, I'm now the leader of a two-man group at KCC because obviously after leaving Reform, there wasn't much option. The KCC constitution doesn't really support independence, it supports groups because that's the way the constitution was written 40 years ago. So my aim is to basically get on the Audit and Governance Committee, the Scrutiny Committee, and obviously just do my best to analyse legislation as it comes through KCC and do my best for the residents when they come. So if there's any questions, I'll take that any more time. But if there are
Councillor Hicks, Councillor Giles.
I would disagree with you about the bridge, because I was involved, and it was Tate Wimby that actually wanted to close that road down.
Right.
Because if you close that road down, you can get rid of the traffic lights, and then the traffic will flow all the way through on the road is much better. You'd be better off, I suggest, getting the roads open to Bridgefields. There's two roads that are meant to go through to Bridgefields.
Finbury, you mean?
Hmm?
The ones that go to Finbury.
Yes, sorry, Finbury, from Bridgefields to Finbury.
Yeah,
And
well,
that way you will get a much better flow of traffic.
I mean, on paper, when I first looked at it, I had a similar sort of thing. I thought, get rid of the traffic lights and it will flow. The problem is, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but as you come over the A27 bridge into Bridgefields at the moment, you can go left or you can go right. Once the left to Finn Farm Road is closed off, you'll have to go right you'll have to go right, and then you'll have to go through all the different cul-de-sacs and estates to get wherever you want to get in Bridgefields. And then when you want to come back out, you'll have to go back through them and back up that country road, because I can't remember the name of it, and back over to 27. Yeah, that's it, yeah. So, I mean, I can understand getting rid of the traffic lights will allow traffic to flow there, but at the same time, all those people that live in those quiet cul-de-sacs at the moment, they have an awful lot of traffic plus more when the new development's built.
The assumption was that traffic would go down the road that connects to Finbury, and that half the traffic would go that way. So what you're saying, the theory was that it won't happen. Because half the traffic will go up through Finbury rather than so.
Crossing straight across anyway.
Yeah. So if
There's already
CC can get the roads open, so much the better.
Well, yeah, and it's the opening of the roads is obviously a major part of it, and we won't know whether this is correct, what you guys are saying, until that road's open, and who knows when that will occur. I can only say what residents have told me, and they are concerned that, you know, you are going to have an awful lot of traffic flowing through past their front doors, which at the moment, you know, so.
It will do, that road over the bridge, we go over it and turn right. That is the dangerous part, so you will probably kept the light because of that.
I suppose the best we can do is make sure it's sequential, isn't it? That whatever happens at the bridge doesn't happen until the road between Finbury and Bridgefield is.
Well, I think that's my idea so far, isn't it? So
I think that's the plan. They won't shut one side of the bridge down until,
yeah.
I don't remember, it's Avset, is it Avset or Rutledge? One of the two, isn't it? One of the two, one's for buses and one's for cars.
Opposites for buses.
Avset, that's it, yeah.
They still have to go through Heritage Road to get to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
obviously it was all part of the Smart Link project, which was debunked 15 years ago. These roads were supposed to be open already. This is 25 years out of date. This was all written down 25 years ago. I remember it all. All these arguments, we've had all these arguments for 25 years. I said all these things would be a problem. I said the bus gate should have never been a bus gate. It should not allow traffic over there, even buses, but it was ignored. And you'll be ignored again.
Okay, Councillor Giles and Councillor Rand.
Yeah, it's two things. From Councillor McGeever's report that he sent in, he said that he contacted Taylor Wimpey about the failure of the lights at the bus terminal. Taylor Wimpey had apologised on the 10th of November that they believed that this work had already been done, that the repairs had been done. But obviously, we're still chasing that now, so I'm guessing that it's Taylor Wimpey that is taking ownership of those lights. And the second bit was kind of in connection with Church Lane, that road, Church Road, like Churchill. So where you're wanting to get double yellows at the bottom, there's also an issue with this entrance here because the school have been asking KCC to have the yellow lines repainted and they've not been able to get in contact with anyone. So if possible, could you get in contact with Mr. Witts, who's headmaster of Kingsnorth Primary School? Because he is eager to try and get that resolved.
Just to get the lines repainted, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's on the corner of that side and that side, which is in connection with Kingsnorth Village Hall.
Now,
So-
it's interesting you say that, but obviously single yellows and double yellows are generally the remit of, again, some of them, if I'm wrong, the Borough Council, but they pay KCC for the job. So the Borough Council asks KCC to do it, and then the remittance comes from ABC to the County Council. That's what I was told in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but that's what I was told.
The borough's there to enforce the KCC always implements.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
The only bit that you're talking about really is enforcement. It's down to ABC to enforce. If they don't enforce, there's no point having.
There has been a meeting between Mr. Witts and Councillor McGee, who obviously is the ward member for this area, and I think that was discussed, but I think it needs to escalate to KCC now to investigate what can be done on that corner. It's just this corner here.
Well, coming in and out of this.
Coming in from the school and the village hall, it needs to be looked at. If it's not,
Okay, yeah, I'll
done there. Thank you.
Okay, councillor Anthony, did you want to say that, or was that ship gone?
Probably. I was just going to say on Finsbury, the link roads, I think there's been 2 or 3 attempts at trying to do that, but the reality is the developers on Finsbury, the value of the site, development site's better if it's a cul-de-sac. They don't want through traffic going through there, so they're always going to be reluctant to do it. So that's really what we've been up against. I think.
That's Cosgrove, they're now going to move on.
There's new zebra crossing put in just south of Bridgefield. Who got an update on that? Because that area now floods very badly and doesn't seem to go anywhere.
When you say south of Bridgefield, you mean that
On
turn
Kingsnorth
road?
Green Road. Yeah, coming out.
As it comes in.
By
Yeah.
the allotments on
Yeah.
Bend.
Which is pretty damn dangerous for zebra crossings, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, the last information I got from that was from one of the officers, and he says because they haven't actually managed to get the beacons on the top of the zebra working properly yet, they put bollards across it to close it off. I must admit, I haven't gone along that road for about a week and a half. I don't know if anyone else has. Are the beacons working yet? Has anyone?
No, it was completely flooded yesterday night.
Right, okay. I'll send an email.
I wouldn't be surprised if a pedestrian doesn't get killed there. Because it's right on the bend, vehicles come round the bend, they can't stop, especially if it's wet or slippery or icy, they go straight into the pedestrian. It's a bloody dangerous place for the zebra crossing. I was in the fire service for 30 years and I saw it happen too often. It should be removed, it's dangerous.
It's in the wrong place.
Does the rest of the parish council, would you like to send me an email requesting that movement of that zebra? Because obviously I can't just go to KCC and say, can you move like £10,000 zebra, please? Because it.
Well, I don't know what possessed them to put it in there. Where was the consultation? There's no consultation or anything, it just turned up. As though they were spending money for the sake of spending money.
Did they not approach you under your highways improvement plan and have a discussion?
There's
about
no discussion about that
No.
crossing whatsoever.
No.
Okay, I generally think then that if the parish council agrees that you should send me an email to that effect, indicate that positioning of that zebra is dangerous, because otherwise all they're going to do is light the beacons on the top and make it operation at some point in the future. If you're saying it floods, then that's a double whammy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously I can't just go to KCC and say, you brand new zebra, you've got to move it. I need some backing, really.
To be fair, the crossing was on our highway improvement plan,
Right.
but we were in intensive discussions about where it was because there were issues about the desire line from the estate to the allotments of the park. And we thought it was still being discussed because nothing had been resolved and no one had come back to us with a solution.
What date did that new zebra actually go in? When was it placed in there?
Only a couple of weeks ago.
I see them they start some works 6 months, 8 months ago. Then they put a crossing in. And I couldn't understand why they were doing any works there whatsoever. As though they were just spending 106 money for the sake of spending it. That's what it looks like to me.
Do you want me to, I can give you an update if you want, because I did sort out some info, because we had a resident contact us about someone being nearly hit,
Yeah, it will do.
which is why they closed it off. But So basically, this is from the head of highways. The zebra crossing was put in as a planning condition by the planning committee in 2018 as part of the 106 agreement for Bridgefield. And basically they did a stage 2 road safety audit and designers response. And they've still got to do the stage 3 safety audit will be required in due course. But basically, it was a 106 agreement, which was put down by Ashford Borough Council Planning Committee at the time. But that was a requirement of the planning. Go ahead.
That's the problem, isn't it? They're so old now that things move on and life changes. But I'm going to close this down now because we've already had 15 minutes and.
No, it's fine.
No, absolutely.
If someone wants to email me about that zebra, you can obviously use that to progress it, because it's going to be difficult just to progress it.
Yeah, just
About
without any evidence. Okay, but thank you very much for your time.
No, it's all right, no problem.
Hello.
Hello. If you've been there just 2 minutes earlier, you would have gone on
I was
first.
just saying, you did a big dance class, and I'm quite happy to.
Right, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name's Matt Kerry, obviously from Ashford. This is where we work together in the B team. The area you guys obviously covering is specifically run by one of our colleagues called Aaron Hopkins, who's got other commitments tonight, and so we're here essentially instead. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that there was also appearance, and if you have any questions, then feel free to ask us and go from there.
Okay. Any questions from anybody? Yes, Councillor Hicks.
Do you cut slabs across? Sort of across at the top?
So I don't personally, colleagues do, yeah.
Well, there's a vehicle parked just beside as we turn around into Tally Ho Road.
Yeah.
In front of the post office.
Yeah.
And cars just can't get past. It's half on the pavement. It's just after about 15 yards, so it's not bang on the corner, but you get an awful lot of traffic trying to turn around, and it's a T-junction, so it's a very busy T-junction.
Yeah, it's not a nice, it's a jump.
No, and people can't actually walk round on the pavement because this vehicle is halfway there. And it's been there, haven't you, about 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
Yes.
Just let, not let them.
Yes, yes.
Well, it does go occasionally, but it comes back.
It's
If they're regularly parking there, whether it's connected to the house on the corner. Yeah. Which business
No,
is
It's
roofing, sure.
It's Pinnacle Roofing. It's a Pinnacle.
Typical roofing, yeah.
Pinnacle
Is it a van, is it a company car?
It's a
van. Okay, fine.
With everything on it.
Okay, yeah, we'll do after this, we'll shoot down that way.
That'd be lovely, thank you, because so many people.
You turn left and it's.
You worked back.
Yeah, sure, yeah, we'll
Yes,
have it.
but you can't go along Macbeth Road at the moment, it's shut.
Okay, I'll find a way. Going a long way. I'll put the lights on. Fine.
On a similar vein, we've been talking earlier on about parking at the bottom of Churchill, too close to the junction, so that when you come round and up Churchill, you're confronted with a car coming down because people are parking on right next to the green.
Yeah.
And when we used to have PCSOs, they used to give me a supply of information leaflets that I would put on the wings to the just live there.
Yes.
Say, courtesy and highway code and all of that. And I didn't know where I could get a supply of those from because it was handy, but it wasn't a handwritten note by me or from the parish council. It actually
Just
came
generic.
a generic.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It was the police one, but it was just a polite note.
Yeah.
It's be a bit more courteous because at school time it's chaos because there's a highways improvement van that parks as well, and it's basically there's not enough parking for people.
No.
You know that,
No.
but it is about where you park. And that can make a huge difference. Just a few yards one way or the other can allow the traffic to go in and out. But I just wondered if I
Yeah.
could get a
Well,
supply.
I'll go back to the station. That's fine. I'll go back to the station. I'll see if I can do something out and I'll get some, possibly if I can steal an email or something before.
Yeah, because it looks like it's not come from that person because then it.
No, that's fine. I suppose from what you've already been discussing, just with the highway stuff, long-term plan, I imagine, but you try and get some WOs in there.
Yeah, that's what the plan is.
Yeah, and that's the. We've got a letter going out to residents fairly soon about that. Also, that's it. Yeah, sure.
I attended the parish forum with Ashford Borough Council last week or the week before, and we were talking about the new policing model and the layout and everything. And one of the things that came up was that people really need to use the reporting app and actually promote the community voice that you've got. People will put things on Facebook, but they won't put them in the right place, and then it doesn't record as a crime, and then we've had this conversation before. So one of the things that I was wondering, and I believe it's going to be picked up and possibly pursued with Calc, is whether we should have some special event around community policing and the new model and how you report and all the other bits and pieces. Because I think we need to re-educate the community as to how they contact you.
Sure.
Because there's loads of information out there, but if they don't know their way around it and they don't know that that's the place to go, they'll think it's like the 111 number, you know. So we need to kind of re-educate in a way that is, more interactive, I think. And maybe a cluster of parishes could do it at the same time. I'm not quite sure, but I'm just throwing out there that it was an idea that people would that we like to build on.
Yeah, no, definitely. So in terms of Kent Police as an organisation, when you look at them like Facebook and Twitter or whatever, that kind of reaches the massive, that's obviously run not locally. It's run centrally. I know that Pete has got to work with getting report stuff through that as well. I don't know if there's like a local parish newsletter. I know that some places do that. But I know that at Singleton, for example, they do that every now and then. Well, got hold of them and they put stuff out about my community voice. And
I think we've had that in our newsletter in the past, but I still think we need to do a bit more because people will always put something on Facebook and moan and then never do anything about it, and then the statistics don't help us, do they?
No, sure.
So we need to do something. Anyhow, just
no, it's fine.
Okay. Any other questions? Councillor Cosgrove.
We had Inspector Ford come and talk to Calc in the 24th of September, and I believe he's a community safety officer, and he was talking about e-scooters. And that's the bane of everyone's lives. And he mentioned that there were nearly 50 confiscated in the town centre. But we've seen statistics elsewhere that the 50 that he was talking about, we believed it was over a short period, was over a much longer period. Are you actually, is the pressure still on to confiscate them? Because we've got so many. I spoke to one of the salesmen in Paris, where they sell the PC, the electric scooters. I said, well, do you advise people who are selling on private land with permission? He said, no, not really. Please go past and they're not bothered, so we're not bothered. So it comes right from the very start. And I was up at dropping the son off the station at Ashford, and there were two 11-year-old girls on the same e-scooter come up from Newtown all along the roads. They're not even old enough to drive, yet there's two of them on an e-scooter going to school. So it's really sort of getting into the schools and sorting them out from there. That's the issue. So I was just asking whether it's still a problem. We know all about catapults, they've been on topic recently. But e-scooters are just as dangerous and just as concerning to residents.
So we agree with that. I absolutely hate it because I think that would be made illegal full stop. So our policy where we work, the community safety unit, sees every scooter that you see. The reason that the shop worker might have said that is if we're on the way to an emergency call or something like that. Sometimes it does look like you just drive past. Realistically, you can't stop to see an e-scooter from away to someone getting the.
No, I appreciate that, but he's now giving them to his customers.
So we have tried to get into the shops, but ultimately we have no power to enforce that in the shops, which again is frustrating. So the only thing we can do is seize every single one we see, which is what we do. We see a lot.
You know, more than 50.
I've done a lot.
There's a lot more than that.
So I couldn't give you an exact figure, but I would say collectively it's a high number. I mean, we could try and look into the exact figures if you like, just to give you an idea. But from our point of view, e-scooters have decreased in Ashford as a whole, definitely 100%.
Which is nice. You just, to an organisation like CAP, where all parishes are together, you can just give some warm feeling, comfort and cheer.
Definitely. I personally don't like them because they're so dangerous. It's about, like I said, about the children. A lot of children ride them now, and they're just not properly parented sometimes, and it can just cause devastating consequences. So we will always seize them because they're illegal.
Good.
So
Thank you.
Simple as that.
Thank you.
Just one question. There's the new app that's just come out, Walk Safe Plus, which is obviously being promoted by Ashborough Council and KCC. But could you just say what bit sort of Kent Police play in terms of walk safe? Is there anything in the app that supports the Kent Police in terms of local ASB or any problems that might be having?
Not that I'm aware of. So we were only made aware of WalkSafe quite recently. So
Yeah.
I've arranged with the council to do some joint events to get sort of a better understanding
Yeah.
and to promote it from our point of view, because I do think it's a really good app. So I cover Ashford Outlet and there's a lot of problems there with kind of people walking home on their own. So I'm targeting it at them. So yeah, as soon as we get a bit more information, I probably can't be answer that question at the moment.
Yeah,
But it's something we're aware of.
Just from what I've gathered on the app, you're able to send SOSs, you're able to send estimate times, you're able to also pinpoint certain issues that you might find, like large crowds lingering around like alleyways or unlit paths, for instance. You're able to signal that. I just didn't know whether if there was a way that you can signal these types of things, that it somehow pins over to Kent Police and helps with their kind of investigation, I guess. So yeah, hopefully, when you do that meeting, then
It'll be the new year now.
Okay.
So as soon as I've got a bit more, I can feed back to Aaron.
all right,
You know.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Before I go, can I just grab an email?
Yes. Yes. What? Peter, have you got an email?
Yeah.
You just give it. Oh, you give it for these.
Got it's our agenda.
Yeah, what I'll do, if I can send, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's gonna be nonsense.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
I think what have your email.
Yeah, I know Matt emailed me before.
Yes.
I mean, that was me.
There you go. I think it's on there. Also, thank you. I'll find anything on.
That's your agenda.
Oh, yeah, mate, I'll do It's moved over there already. Never mind, it's a little curious. Pete, can I ask you?
Yes, me too. Thank you very much, Chair. Well, good evening, council. You'd be possibly thinking the fact.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chair. We've gone out of order.
Oh, well, we did go out of order, yes. So, did you want to go first?
Oh, Pete's just started then.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 12 times saying. Well, that bought me the time to say, just wondered why the police didn't stay at my report. You'd have been possibly thinking, you know, when you saw the report, I think that's virtually what you said in November, and sadly, it probably is, Chair, because I had to really revisit everything I reported in November with a spike across the whole district of the crimes. I won't labour him too much because I did it at the last meeting, but parcels from doorsteps, the theft from sheds and garages, etc. That has really been a very, very nasty spike. And then if you add the theft from vehicles, that is quite a spike there. The rest is all in general terms, whether you're visiting London, whether you're shopping in the supermarkets, etc., things like that is very important. The scams, etc., they're not going to sort of reduce at all in the run up to Christmas. They're going to increase, and in particular when you put the January sales and the Black Fridays, etc., in, they're all an opportunity for things like that. Unusually, normally road traders does dip a little towards the start of winter and over Christmas, but sadly, in actual fact, in Chestnut Lane in Park Farm, you know, close to here, we headed off a road trader there from striking a 90-year-old with his wife, who's about 87, I think. And they were looking down the barrel of £5,000. And I've got to say, you know, I'd like to take massive credit. I'd like us all to take credit. You know, it was luck. It was luck that the daughter just happened to stop by and visit at the same time. And, you know, it was particularly nasty, and it could have been exceptionally damaging for that couple, not just in the loss of their finances, but it's a devastation, Chair, to these people. They lose their confidence totally in that. And so that's really made me, you know, revisit this again, even over Christmas, of road traders going around. So the rest is all there. Drink and drugs, I will just flag up my concern again that I do believe this year, if they'd stayed and listened, they would have heard me say, I think this year people are going to pass the breathalyzer and actually fail the drug wipe, and that's a great concern. The flagging up there about children and tablets and new phones over Christmas, you know, I was stunned the other day to see the article in the press about the fact they believe there's children now as low as 5 in age with phones. The liaison with the Kent Police, I wondered if when people were talking about the COUT meeting, I believe there was an officer there who, Superintendent Steenhouse, I think his name was, I think he it reiterated again that they will get to council meetings. But when you think, you know, I wouldn't put them on the spot tonight because that's not how I work. But privately, you know, that's the first visit for this year. You know,
Visit since I've been there.
first visit, you know, and you know, we've got to. So my commitment, Chair, is I will continue to work behind the scenes to ensure that they do link in, because the very questions you gave tonight are all things that they need to be there to give you the law, to give you the exact position. You're absolutely right when you spoke about the scooters. Ashford was the lowest in Kent for interceptions. We've had to raise that with some very, very blunt meetings to say, you're just not doing it. And people don't understand. And yes, I do get the point about emergency calls, etc., and things like that. But people don't understand why Ashford was so slow on scooters and things like that. So we keep it. But the commitment is there. I'm linked in with the crime commissioner. I've got the caseworker. We will be holding the police to account about they must link in. And in particular, as the political shape and how Kent will be governed in future comes through, my concern is that with the doubt about will there be a KCC, what will it look like, unitary authority wise? You know, I just worry that in areas of doubt, in areas of lack of clarity, vulnerable people drop through gaps. And my work will have to be in these, certainly I'll start next year, but certainly in the next couple of years, would be to ensure those people don't fall through the gaps at all. Had the police officers stayed, they'd have heard that I'm up in my work about violence against women and girls. There was some good news tonight when I walked in, and as with the councillor who's now on the cabinet, and after my congratulations for not only stepping forward to that position, but bringing fresh eyes to look at it, etc., because it is wholly unacceptable position we find ourselves in. I was pleased this week that although I've still got a couple of hoops to go through, I have had some KCC funding allocated to me, only a small amount, where I can buy display boards and that which will enhance my performance about violence against women and girls. I think at the end, though, the most important thing to say, absolutely the most important thing, I think the officers not being here for the year, they have been the losers. You've lost slightly, but they were the big losers. I think, but what it did ensure this year was that we're together tight as a group. I can't place on record enough my grateful thanks, not only as the support of clearly the clerking facility for the council, but you as individual people, individual councillors, and then collectively as a group. I always feel, Chair, that you lead by example. You give me plenty of airtime, and you give me the chance to report each time to council. There will always be a report from me, and I'll always be walking through the door short of ill health or a really pressing appointment. I think we need to just say it's been a really good year working together. We're only as good as yesterday, and I think that we'll have to be, as we've been in 2026, exactly the same, and try where we can to be even better. If we can think of any ways, I know you're French-speaking people, and I am too, that we'll examine any way possible to ensure that we serve the people that you have the honour and I have the honour to represent, and also serve, keeping them crime-free and free from the fear of being a victim of crime. So my unreserved thanks, and I'll take this opportunity, Chair, to wish each of you and your families a really happy Christmas and a really happy, healthy New Year. And I think it comes home to us all. If we have our health, we can do everything. So thank you very much, Chair. I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions, Councillor Coster?
Just a quick one, Peter, just on point of clarity. Inspector Ford attended the September CALC meeting, gave a briefing, and the November CALC meeting, which has just gone, it was Sergeant Dan Edge.
Yes.
And we've had 2 other police officers in the meeting before that. So police have actually attended the CALC meetings for the past 3 times.
Well, that's good. And I'll tell you why that's good. And thank you for that clear report, because There was a time when they started to send apologies to count.
Hmm.
And I told the crime commissioner and I told senior
We
officers,
did struggle.
it was unforgivable.
We did struggle at council for some time.
Yeah, there's no explanation. This 5,000 organisation, they can't get a deputy. And when I did the conference at County Hall, there was two speakers, the chief constable and me. He provided for 5 minutes notice. I went from speaking 6 to opening the conference and things like that. Now that doesn't worry me and I can make headway with that. But when an organisation can't field someone and they've got 5,000 employees, I find it unacceptable. I found it unacceptable they didn't come to Calc. You are the big players at Calc. You are representing huge areas. They must be there. I continually push the police. They have lost out.
That's acceptable.
You know, so thanks for that.
The other one is, I'm sure you won't be able to answer this one. The government have announced the abolition of the police and crime commissioners. Can you foresee any impact of that?
Yeah, I can. I mean, personally, one of my skills, I don't do politics with this job. Whatever party people come from, whatever political stance they come from, all I want to know is, are they focused on the business with me? When I met all the new reformed KCC councillors, I said, you can speak to me the next day and tell me you've changed parties. I told both MPs, if you change parties, just tell me every contact details changed. It's about doing the business. Once again, as we go through a whole series of restructuring of Kent and what Ashford might look like, we take a decision, we do away with the PCC. My first stance is one, what will replace it and how will it work? And personally, and I've said it in front of the officers tonight, the thought of police officers reassuring police officers that everything's well and good scares the life out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I had with the crime commissioner, I have independent validation of points. I have areas where we can hold the chief constable to account and be under no illusions at all. It has been my meetings with Matthew Scott who brought these people back into the room tonight, and my job is to see they stay there. Now, short answer is, I don't know what it looks like. But I'm very concerned when we throw something, announce we're throwing it. There's no, and this is how it might work in the future. Now, could it be a police force? I don't know. But all I will say is, there's going to be a lot of change on the horizon, and that's just another one you've got to factor in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
First of all, can I just congratulate Peter on being a finalist in Ashford Hero?
I kept that call.
Well, you see, I looked on social media.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yes, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And well deserved. So my first point was actually about highways, but obviously the person for highways has gone. But I don't know if people are aware the traffic lights near Tesco's, where you're on Romney Marsh Road heading towards as the outlet, is in a constant cycle where you get the wait sign and then it immediately goes to red for pedestrians crossing, even when there's no one there, and it's just a stuck on a cycle. So I've reported that, and I'm waiting for that to find out when they're going to do that. The other thing was actually probably more for the police, which is about cyclists on pavements. I've been almost run down several times recently, particularly by Just Eat and Uber Eats, people on their electric bicycles zooming down narrow pavements, particularly when I'm walking my own dogs, but I've also had residents complain about it as well. So it's one thing where we've got pavements with a separate cycle lane, but there doesn't seem to be any appetite for stopping people from zooming down pavements. My own sort of little nag at the minute I'm trying to get sorted. And then the other thing was just to update was we did Santa's sleigh last night round Washford Farm, Chartfields and Knights Park. We raised £530 last night for local charities. Very well received. The whole community came out. It was really great, like, particularly in Chartfield. So we had children skipping behind the sleigh down the roads. I was marshalling and stuff, but it was all safe. But it was a great atmosphere. And just to highlight that on Monday, the 22nd
of December, Santa, his sleigh, one of his glamorous assistants, will be in Park Farm.
Yeah, I'm volunteering as well.
Are you collecting as well?
Yeah, second time running.
Yeah, so we'll be in Park Farm, so please do come and support and give us your money.
Yeah.
That's a Cosgrove.
Yes, so cycling on pavement is what is another bugbear. We previously asked questions about this. There is no speed limit on pavements, so they can go as fast as they like. There is a conflict between cycleways, shared cycleways, and pavements, and they're not allowed on pavements, as we know. An example, one of the examples that I keep bringing up is that the path over Badman's Rifle Bridge, railway bridge, is a cycleway in one direction, but not cycleway in the other direction. You look at the signs.
Okay.
So it comes down to highways or the Borough Council identifying signage properly, and 99 times out of 100, when it says cyclists dismount at this point, they don't. And it's education.
Well, a number of times that I end up shouting at people because they've almost mowed me down, and they look at me as if I'm the one to be.
Yes,
at fault.
they're so aggressive.
And you just say, well, get out of my way. Or why is your dog barking at me? It's like, well, because you just come up behind me with no warning, scared the life out of it. Out of me.
They're encouraging cycling, but Ashford really hasn't got a coordinated, comprehensive cycling plan.
Just very briefly, Chair, thank you. Sadly, the fatality in the Medway Towns of the pensioner that was hit by a bike on the pavement has no doubt raised this right up the agenda exceptionally quickly, and it's terrible that it's taken a tragedy like that. I cannot believe, both linking your question earlier about scooters and that, I cannot believe our luck has held in Ashford that no one has been seriously injured or even worse, fatally injured. So I'll do all I can as well to keep that right on the agenda.
That's Ramsey.
I thought someone did die on Beaver Road a few years ago on a scooter.
I wasn't sure. I'm not sure.
I've got that in my head, but that's wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was.
Can I just say something?
Yeah. go on.
Congratulations to Heather for your nomination for your Hero Award.
I've got some reading to do.
You're weary, I'm down to three. Well, I'm being greedy.
Well, thank you very much, Councillor Hayward. Can we then move on to our agenda item 3?
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. That's the approval of the minutes.
I'll propose.
Okay, do you have a seconder?
Second,
All vote?
Who's that?
James, me.
Seconded.
Yeah, unanimous.
Yeah, seconded.
Yeah.
All right, Councillor Crossbow.
Yes. And then, do we have any applications for community grants on the agenda?
What does it say on the agenda?
No.
No.
Team, yay. Ooh. Item 5.
Sorry, Chair, can I just introduce Chris to everyone?
Yes.
I just think we should introduce him, otherwise
Yeah.
he may want to go before I say it.
Depending on how it goes.
So Chris, welcome to Chris Chapman. He's our new, or newish, been here since the 17th of November, our new grounds and maintenance operative. And he stayed in Ashford since about 3 o'clock to stay on for the meeting. So thank you, Chris, and welcome.
Yeah, and he's already got his boots dirty, so.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Well, I was planting tulips earlier on today, and there was no point in me going back to Cranbrook, so I just hang around.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so local government reorganisation, verbal updates. Does anybody have any?
Yeah, so obviously Ashford Borough Council had their meeting, what was it, last Thursday, I believe?
Yeah.
And it was, before then, we had our meeting at the parish council, and then, what was it? And then like a couple of days later, we had an actual members briefing on LGR, where there was a lot of questions about different models. And it was interesting to hear a lot more in terms of Model 4D and the different savings that could be made with that, and also the representation, the changes from 4B to 4D. There was a really good conversation on Thursday, but members had already made up their minds by then what they were going to do. So there wasn't really any time for questions because they'd attended the briefing. That was the time for questions. The Ashborough Council took their vote, and I think it was it 18 or 19 for the 4B model?
I thought it was 13. I know there was five for KCC and five for the three.
Yeah, and then there was something like 11 or 12 for the 4D.
But it was overall
yes, they went with 4D. And the main parts of that really was from what the leader had said, but ultimately what other members were saying in terms of the fact that the representation would be a lot bigger than what 4B would be offering. And it would give us the opportunity to market some of the areas of Kent a bit more better. So if you look at how it was on 4B, there was a split on Folkestone High. There's also a split up near the Romney Marsh. There was one up top as well near Maidstone. And it was based on what people believe in those areas they are most closest to or they are most connected to. So it worked in that favour. So that was kind of my part on that. Yeah.
Right.
Just as a side, there's 6 options. Across the county, no more than 3 authorities voted in favour of any one particular option. That's a complete mismatch. The government will make their own mind up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to say. Whatever we say, the government will decide for us.
Yeah, and they'll do that in the timeline that they've got available to do.
If you look what they've done in Surrey and another authority, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
They stuck all one lot of authorities together, different varieties of authorities together, all the advantages.
It was based on debt, wasn't it?
Very strange way of doing it.
Okay. Well, my update is, and I'm going to widen my update to beyond local government reorganisation, because it was what we discussed at the local parish forum with ABC, where we covered a whole variety of issues, including the policing one. We had the update on the various models and the timeline, and the bits that are different to the update we just had was the debate about whether or not there should be a town council for Ashford. And I think that was quite an interesting discussion, because you've got 2 of the areas that had been wanting to create a parish council in their area who now feel that they've been taken over by the town council debate. And I think they've felt that they had been kind of sidelined, whereas I think actually it's opportunity that has taken the timeline, which is if you don't do it now, you wouldn't get the parish council, so at least get the town council if you can, and then you can have a parish within that if you wanted to.
Yes.
But I think there was a lot of people feeling that, in terms of things running in tandem, that the whole, I suppose, external forces that are driving this agenda now, rather than the normal process of how to create a parish council. But I think we probably spent more time discussing that a little bit than we did on the whole of local government reorganisation. The other bits that are for us to take away is the whole health and wellbeing agenda. And I suppose in some ways what we can do as a parish to add value to that agenda. There's a pilot project in Folkestone and Hythe, which is about walk-in appointments with doctor surgeries and improved sort of preventative health. And there's a thing called the Ashford Health Alliance, and age-friendly communities. And one of the things that I thought we could do was proactively running sessions for people to use the outdoor gym equipment. You can have passive equipment, but if you actually say, we're going to show you how to use it, then you're more likely to get people to come along and use it and target it to specific age groups and things. So for me, I think for us to take away from that is what we as a parish can do with isolation, loneliness, health and wellbeing through the activities, the facilities that we provide. And we've got a bit of good news on that front with regard to the use of the pavilion. Do you want to update us on that?
Yeah, so we've got a nice block booking from the NHS coming in every Thursday morning for their pain management and chronic pain clinics.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So they'll be starting in January through till March. They've also got some other community related sessions they want to run here, but they just got to get through the powers that be. But they really like the venue, and yeah.
That's good. Yeah, the bit that I was a bit disappointed, there was a gentleman from the planning department who was running a consultation exercise, which is why it's on the agenda, all the way through December. And I just asked if we could have the information so we could discuss it at this meeting. We haven't received a reply, have we? No. But Councillor Cosgrove has received an invitation to attend an event. So,
Did Ben, it was.
yeah. So for me, I just hope, and I want to give this feedback to Ashford, I hope it's not what I call a tick box exercise, that, you know, we're going to liaise with all parishes and communities in a consultation exercise all through December, but actually 40 people have been invited to a workshop.
Yes.
And we don't know what the methodology was into who was selected to be invited to the workshop. So I think that's something we will be picking up.
Yes, so Chair, this was the East Kent Design Guide.
Yes.
Consultation.
Yeah.
It was a live briefing for the first 40 people who wanted to attend, which is taking place on the 10th of December this year. So a couple of days' time. Tomorrow. And the trouble is that you clicked on the link or clicked on the website or went to the actual thing to find it, and
So it's already subscribed.
it was all down.
Yeah.
You just couldn't get onto it.
Yeah.
So it was a waste of time, really.
So that was a shame, because it would have been a good opportunity tonight to have actually proactively engaged in that process. And the other bit that I thought was interesting, and I suppose is quite pertinent for us to really, is a presentation from Beth from the Ashford Volunteer Service, and about the response that they had or hadn't had to their questionnaire and the research they're doing on behalf of the Borough Council. And a lot of that was all about difficulties in finding out who runs community buildings, how to book them, etc., etc. But the one big thing that came out of all of it is that the numbers of people volunteering and the age profile of people volunteering means that in the future we won't have enough volunteers to run all the services that we have traditionally used volunteers for. And that's because young people, busy people, young families, life is a lot more busy than it used to be. So one of the things we were all asked to reflect on is about future planning, how we go around arranging services and things that make it easier for people to engage, but without necessarily the same level of commitment that we have traditionally gone for. It's not for us to discuss now, but it's for us to reflect on, because if we don't start preparing now, in 5 years' time, we will find that we don't have enough councillors and we don't have enough volunteers running scouts, etc. Councillor Jones.
Just as a point of an observation for myself, but a lot of young people are visual learners now. They do a lot of visual learning from school, and it's continuous with the social media that they access as well. So if we are going to present options for them to volunteer in, they're not going to necessarily understand it from written. Here's a bit about the charity, here's what it is we want you to do. But if we did video content of what it is, here's the charity, here's the building, this is what you might typically be doing as a volunteer, it's a lot more easier for young people to engage with and actually know prior to that what it is that they could be volunteering their time for.
So it's just something for us to reflect on, but there's a bulge coming through the system, and when we all reach a certain age, there won't be enough people running anything.
Well, I do think with planning as well, we've got all these developments going forward, and I think some planning officers seem to think it's quite easy to find volunteers to manage these buildings and things, and it's definitely not.
They're forming trustees, as we know, to run buildings. Yeah. So I think we do need to be just aware of how we model things, that not necessarily the way we've done it in the past. Okay, that was my update on that one. East Kent Design Guide, you've said the gentleman's didn't provide us anything. So Parish Council Communications, I think you're going to lead on this one, aren't
Yeah.
you?
So hopefully everyone's had a look at the report I provided. Basically, there's some information on the table there in the middle, which I did send out to all councillors, but I printed it off as well. I might just quickly grab it on it. I think my copy was on the top. Thank you. So basically, coming in for this financial year, when we get audited in May, there's a new assertion which basically means that we have to hit certain requirements to pass the audit. And assertion 10 is related to parish council websites, emails, and IT provision. And basically, we're doing okay on a lot of it. We've got our own domain names, so we've got .gov.uk email address and email addresses. We've got a generic one for myself, which is manager. It's not a personal name, and the same for the other with Marie and with Ruth. We don't use our personal emails. The main thing that's really came up was the website accessibility compliance. Our website does not meet the compliance test as it stands. There's about 5 major faults within the website, which means it's not compliant with accessibility. So if someone's visually impaired or something else, then basically, there's a little widget which apparently for a little man like this.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't do anything. It's not, we've got one, but it's not actually what is required. So when I went to the Clerks conference, obviously the guy that was doing the presentation, he was there at lunchtime, so I talked to him about it, and he took up our website and had this report, and he basically showed all the different faults of our website, and there was quite a lot of reds and a few oranges and some greens. So we definitely need to look at how we can, we basically need a new website, because our website was set up, I think it might have been just before I started, by a previous councillor. So potentially the requirements at that stage was different to what it is now. Obviously, we do need to address the website, because there are things within potential website we could get that we could would make our lives easier, make us look more professional. So for example, there's a planning portal integration. So basically you could click on a planning page on our website and it would bring up all of our applications within Kingsnorth. You wouldn't have to go to the planning portal. So I know lots of people have issues with going to the planning portal. You go to our page, it'll come up with, and it's pretty popular, it's for us. So we wouldn't have to literally go on there and add them. Just as a new one comes in, it updates on our website. And if a council wanted to look at that, they click on the link and it would take them directly to the portal link. One of the websites that this company does is Tenterden, and I had a look on their website, and they've got the planning module, and it's as simple as clicking on the application you want to look at, and it goes through to the Ashford portal. So then you can look at, obviously, the documents that are related to it. It also has, they were also saying about, if we've got an application form for a job or for community grant, they were saying it's actually better to have an online form than having a Word document or a PDF. Because again, not everyone has accessibility to them platforms, or it might not be quite compliant with accessibility. So they said having an online form is obviously a lot easier. They said about, you could also do online payments for events and event ticketing, which, it sounds really good. So that's the website side of things. With regards to GDPR, obviously, again, this is going to be linked into the audit. Again, some of the things we do are good, and some of the things we probably need to look at. But what I didn't realise is that actually when we left the EU, all of our GDPR changed. So it went to UK GDPR, not European. So there's lots of things that obviously we need to look at. And they were saying that basically, because obviously we have got .gov.uk email addresses, we control that data. But if someone used a Hotmail account or an Outlook account, we don't own that data. So if someone did a freedom of information request, we'd have to go to Google or whoever owns that company, and they probably wouldn't give us the information. So basically, with the GDPR, what they would do is they would come in for a day, they'd get their, they've got a head of compliance who lives in Folkestone, Handley, come in for a day, sit with us in the office, go through everything that we do, and then we would then put together an action plan where we could work through to get ourselves up to the required standard and above.
Councillor Wedgbury?
You've got a question on GDPR. Would we have to, or should we, as an authority, and both for our staff and maybe members, have an annual refresher training on GDPR?
Definitely, yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea. Councillor
I think they do provide training as part of the package.
Yeah. Councillor Anthony.
And just on FOI, so I'm not entirely sure about this, the names thing. So I understand that some councils now, they'll entirely redact any names and email addresses to the point that someone doing an FOI can't tell who sent and received an email. But that doesn't actually comply with the law on FOI, and the courts have pushed back on government doing that recently. So basically, anyone who sends an email on the council system, you need to be prepared for that to be public and that your name will be associated with it. Because although under GDPR you can't, it's changed now, you can't just redact it and expect that it's going to be anonymous, because it won't be. You've got to be accountable for it. So.
But I think that's all about being professional and being careful about what you say and how you say it,
It's not going to be anonymised because it's your data. It is public's right to know. So,
yeah. Okay. I had a similar presentation last year, and I felt that we needed to do something. So I'm very supportive of this proposal, because we are the largest parish in Ashford, and I think we need to have the right tools to do the job properly. And I think it will make the job of staff and members' lives a lot easier if everything's all in the one place. We've got that external validation and training, that when rules do change, we are alerted to changes in rules rather than us sort of having to seek out changes. The idea that we will work compliant and know what it is that is expected of us. I think all of that is important. I also like the idea that we can do our ticketing ourselves through our website, rather than use another outside agency. Does anybody else have any more questions before we go to the proposal?
A question on the proposal, but is that not where we're at? Yeah.
Well, you can do. I had a question on the proposal as well. Go on. Go.
Just the data protection fee, is that an annual fee, or?
That's for the first year, so like that is a bespoke.
The £2,000 one?
Yeah.
And do you know, is that ongoing or?
No, so they basically, there's different tiers. So the most basic one, which I think we'd probably go on to next year, is about £500 for the year, 599.
So then after year one, we're on essentially 2,000 twice, so £4,000. And then year two, you're looking at £1,000 every year afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Right. So the recommendation, is it in the one in the report that we're going to take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie doke. So do we have a proposal for the first recommendation, or do you want to take them on block?
I'll propose 7A.
I'm happy the second.
Okay, can we vote? Unanimous. And for the second one?
Oh, happy to.
Opposed?
7B.
Councillor Hicks has seconded. Should we vote? There you go. Thank you very much.
Never found.
Is that, yeah,
Never found.
catching up?
Yes.
I did attend an online conference on design codes. If you wanted to go back to 6, I can give you an update on what I learned from the design codes training that I had with it was with Alison Eardley, who we had other training.
Oh. Sorry, I'm confused because we just went through that item. And what was this? Was you as a councillor you went, or how did you get?
It was advertised on the training training sort of thing, that email that went out, and I just picked up on it, and I wanted to find out about the design codes, so I went on the training day. That
And it was an Ashford training day, was it?
it was a
Came through on the Borough Council email.
Oh,
Yeah, it was on.
Is it possible to put a summary that you can send to all councillors after the meeting?
Yeah,
That
I
might be
could.
easier, or that if it's 20 slides or PowerPoints.
Yes, they might actually come through to me, so I could send the.
Excellent. At least somebody knows what's going on. I'm pleased to know about that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Community assets and feasibility study scope.
Yeah, so just basically, I did, Councillor Cosgrove gave me some feedback, which obviously we asked for at the last meeting, so I've updated the feasibility study. So with that, which is attached to the agenda. I've also had an initial meeting with some consultant that's working with another parish, Great Sharp, on another project. And I was pleased and proud of ourselves. They were very pleased with, they were actually really taken aback of how comprehensive the feasibility study was. They said it made it very clear what we wanted and how we wanted it. Good. So that's good. And they actually said they were quite excited about the potential project. So he's spoken to some other consultants, like a cost business case, cost consultants and landscape and some kind of building consultants. He did send me an email yesterday, which I need to go back to. Which basically said that he could put together some initial reports for each item on the feasibility study, which would give us an overview of what would be required. And he was going to aim to try and arrange a meeting with myself and potentially Alison, if she's available, or Jeff, or both, next week, just to go through the kind of options, and then we can bring it to council probably in January. But it seemed quite positive what they thought, and it was nice to get the feedback that the report was good. He said he was very surprised that parish council had produced it. So,
Councillor Cosgrove. Well, it was just that update you had with Councillor Beattie.
Yes, well, I bumped into Councillor Beattie at the other week and mentioned that we were doing it. And whilst we had initial feedback that there was no chance of any asset transfer, I did told him what we were doing, and we were doing a feasibility report and a proper business case for each one. He said, "Oh, yes, that'd be better. Yes, we'll look at them on an individual basis."
Mm-hmm.
So we had a sort of a thinkette, and when you break it down, there are some low hanging fruit that we're proposing to take over. So this place is in our remit totally, so we just go ahead. We can go ahead and do it if you so wish. And the other one that sort of sticks out as an easy win would be the entrance park, which has got nothing to do with it. It's not really looked after by them. It's got nothing complicated like management plans or different owners and different leaseholders and all that. It hasn't got the buildings and all the rest of them, like the moat and Central Park, all the other infrastructure. It's a very simple one. So if we're reminded, we could sort of cherry pick those two and go forward as a test case. There's something simple that we can get done under our belt relatively cheaply, and also demonstrate that we can be trusted to do these things, and this is what we wanted to do, and we can see it through.
I think so. For local government reorganisation, understandably, nobody's looking at asset transfers now, but there will be a point when they will, and at that point we should be ready with our cases should we decide that that's what we want to do. Councillor Mansley.
Sorry, Chair, it's not exactly on this, but just reminded me, did we ever get the lease extended to line up with the other one for the football pitch?
No.
It's still floating about, yeah?
basically,
Right, okay.
the superior landlord,
Yeah,
which is not Ashborough Council, is in dispute with Ashborough Council.
Who's the superior?
that's
Homewards.
homeless, isn't it? Yeah. Right, okay.
So above our pay grade, I believe.
Okay.
But, sorry.
Councillor
finish,
Clark. Yeah.
There must be a checklist that the Ashford Borough Council has about transferring assets. And if they could provide us with a sort of checklist.
They have.
They must have done it before and, you know,
They don't really have a checklist, but they do have like these I would say, I want to say clause, but it's not, but it's some sort of section one, this and that you have to meet the requirements of it actually being of community value first, and that's the main things that they go off. But there's not because that's what we had when we looked at that one over there, and it came back with it, we passed this, but we hadn't passed that part of this section, and that's what they mainly look at when they're making a decision whether the property or the asset could be deemed a community value, for instance. That's what they go off. It's not a checklist.
And that's what we did when we added the Weasel words to the asset scope report to try and push it back into that sphere so we get the right ticks the box. We also, through this exercise, just for information, Chair, we found the Wildlife Trust's management report and amalgamated it to ours, so we have the same common goals. So we're not batting against somebody that's already there and in possession. We're enhancing it and going alongside it.
Yeah, good.
This is all about bin tracking, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for that update. If we then move to the financial reports, then 9A, receive the November financial report document.
Noted.
Noted. Oh. And then they're all in the same staple, aren't they? We're not doing them all on one block, are we? Because where's the repair? Oh, we got invoices. Invoices, there we go. Those recent invoices. Are people happy to approve these?
14026 on number.
That's the update one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The right one.
yeah. Yeah, 14026, yeah, because
Updated it. Finished today.
1530 block.
Tuesday, hang on, Tuesday the 11th, but it's Tuesday the 9th, isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
I think is it the date in American order or something?
Following meeting on Tuesday the 11th.
No. Right above it's got a date.
Oh,
Eight
yeah,
to 12.
oh, yeah.
1530.
August 12th.
okay. December. Right. Right. No, you're just confusing. What the numbers is. Right. We're all happy to agree the invoices as listed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Propose those. You have to second those? Yeah.
Second.
You vote for those?
Katrina.
Seconded by councillor Ransley and all agreed. Okay. Then can we move to the item C, which is about the pumping station repair?
What is it a pumping station of?
It's all these toilets.
Waste from the.
Oh, okay, it wasn't explained. No, I imagined it was, but,
No.
yeah.
because I'm sure it was you, wasn't it you, Jeff, that went over there, had a look at it? You tinkered with it last year, didn't you?
We tinkered with it last year because we found that the pumps weren't working properly.
Was it not the right pipe or something?
No, it wasn't pipe, it's pipe. They just hadn't seated the pumps.
Right,
The pumps go down a thing, catch on and clip in. They hadn't clipped in, they were loose. But that's been solved, and this is a different problem.
Yeah.
The fact that the pipe, we're not sure whether it's delivery pipe or the suction pipe, is split.
Well, we don't want it flooding the
It
field.
won't flood, but it's just leaky and noisy and
It's got to be done.
it needs sorting.
Yes.
I propose.
I'll second.
We all agree.
I'll third.
That was, I think I had to go to the AR on that.
So I'll let councillor Hicks take the second.
Just in future for reference, please just put sewage in any report and you'll get it straight through. Right, highway improvement plan. I think we've almost discussed that one to death, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
Except we now need to go through the letter that you're proposing to
Yeah.
send to residents.
Can I just,
Yes?
sorry, Chair, can I just give an update? We've been asking at South and at JTB for the highways improvements plan to be discussed at JTB. They took it back to Central or wherever they frankly think it back to. And they came back last week to say that the highway improvement plans will not be discussed at JTB because JTB is more of a strategic thing and individual parish HIPs are too local and too detailed. So there is nothing really to discuss. They won't discuss it at Kent level, therefore Ashford JTB won't discuss it either.
So who does discuss it then?
Individual parishes with Kent County Council. Isn't it, JTB for more strategic things like Eurostar, motorways, Operation Block, big highway plan.
Divide and control, basically.
That's more strategic.
I mean, you could say that the highways improvement plan is strategic, so technically.
Not when it's got a £10,000 cap on it.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so this letter, then Pete, did you correct? Or,
Yeah, no, I will, I'll put it on my list of corrections.
right, because I just got at the first bullet point on the letter, vehicles parking in narrow the bottom, didn't flow, so you just need to reword that. Councillor Hicks.
I'm interested that you only want yellow lines on one side of the road. I was driving up today and I would have thought a yellow line on both sides of the road would be.
I think it's because we've never ever had anybody park on that side of the road.
They will now, you get the yellow lines on that side.
True, yeah, that's true, yeah.
Should be
Yeah.
both.
It would be both, it should be both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go back to ACC, it just means it will delay.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
get it right, get it right.
Otherwise we'll have to do it again. That hadn't occurred to me, but if you put it on one side, you go on the other, yeah.
I mean, they're going to be there anyway when the traffic lights come, so we're kind of just doing work that's going to bring it forward, really.
But we've been talking about traffic lights since 2000.
Well, I know, but
Yes.
finally getting some infrastructure delivered in advance, so
That's right. So let's have as many yellow lines as we possibly can. Councillor Cosgrove.
On that point,
Mm-hmm.
when these things were first raised, the advice from KCC was, we'll put all your yellow lines in one basket. There's one traffic order, and we'll come out and do half a dozen different sites.
Yeah.
Now we've got this one,
And the school one.
and we're at school. That's just a repaint. That's
Oh,
maintenance.
that's true.
We'll possibly come up with the issue of Tally-Ho Road. So we could put some double yellow lines down there for 20, 25, 30 metres. So whilst we're doing the resident consultation on this one, we could include Tally-Ho and any other examples that we feel around the parish that we might need.
Are they already in the hit, those ones?
No, Tally-Ho's not, because we didn't have the van problem, but there's always been a parking problem there.
Yeah, we have raised parking there as an issue, haven't we?
It's only come to head recently,
I think we've got it on the hip.
not Tally-Ho, we haven't.
Yeah, definitely, outside the post office, we've had it on.
That's the post office, but this is
But
at the
that,
junction.
I think going down, it kind of covers.
I think we've got to be careful. We don't want to put them outside the post office because that'll kill the trade.
No, but it's been mentioned.
All right, well, let's just have some clarity.
Do you want me to contact Kieran
Kieran,
Yeah,
about double yellow lines, both sides of Churchill,
yes.
and the potential for
Tally-Ho,
Tally-Ho?
So what are we talking about doing on Tally-Ho then?
double yellow lines, because what we've got, the situation we've got, as you turn into Tally-Ho Road from Magpie Hall, there's the van being parked on the pavement within 20 metres of the junction.
Right.
And it just
It's just
moves
about
behind
the
that
junction.
It's just from the junction up to the first driveway.
Put it this way, so far onto the pavement, you couldn't get a pushchair or a wheelchair past the
No.
van.
Yes.
And that has to be both sides as well.
Well, yeah.
Just
Without
Because of-
wishing to jeopardise
Side.
Church Hill, would we put Pound Lane in as well? Just so we do all the little junctions coming off Ashford Road.
My concern would be that the worst one is Churchill because of the school. Because of the school. And I wouldn't want that to get delayed by adding in others and then having going back to.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Well, let's get this, keep it in mind for
Yeah,
other
absolutely.
junctions really, but.
Lane can be an issue as well.
Churchill is the one where you're on the wrong side of the road and
Yeah.
people are turning blindly around the
Yes.
corner, aren't they?
Yeah.
In front of the people. Okay, so
There is in one sense, we're going to just push the parking problem further up the road. Why didn't, I know I might get shot down quite quickly about this one, but why don't we put a little lay-by in the green, what do you call it, the corner
Kingsnorth Green.
Kingsnorth Green.
Village Green.
Yeah, I know.
But
It's,
there's a lay-by by the opposite side by bus stop. On the opposite side of the road, we could extend that easier than depriving people of a green space.
The problem
Yeah.
is the people in the cottages opposite the pub don't have enough car parking spaces. There's a lay-by by the bus stop, which I think takes 3 vehicles, and there's 4 cottages, and that highway maintenance van is one of them in the cottages. So I was mentioning to Councillor Cosgrove that you could continue to cover over that drainage ditch and extend that lay-by, but that would be a highways.
We could put that, we could put that on the hit, couldn't we?
What's that? Yeah.
Because it's the people in those cottages that park because they haven't got anywhere else to park. And some of the people in the old post office, that area.
Well, that was something that we argued in the traffic modelling, isn't really going to be taken into account that, I mean, it doesn't really assume there's parked cars on that road as you come into Churchill. Obviously, there is going to be.
Yeah.
We didn't get anywhere with that.
Trouble with traffic modelling and the build out of that state is going to be put 10 years away.
Okay, so let's just unpick. Are we going, just for at the moment, with this one letter going out now, with the corrections of what narrow is at the bottom? And are we then going to revisit the HIP and pick up these other places that we want to do, and then go back to Kieran with the additions?
Sounds like a good
I
plan.
thought we wanted both sides.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Both sides.
We can't go out with the letter until the extent plans are updated.
Yeah, you've got to understand.
Okay, so, right, okay, so if we've got to go back, we might as well put the other ones in, is that what we're saying? But they need to be,
I propose that we go back to KCC to amend it to double both sides of the road.
yeah,
That, and then proceed with the letter going out, and that in about 6 months, we bring back another
Yeah, I second that.
batch.
Yeah, good
batch
idea.
of what-
I second
yeah.
that.
Well,
Otherwise it could delay this.
Yes.
We're having the HIP discussion is next March.
Right, okay.
So that's the time to raise it.
Okay, we got that.
Yeah, so
Happy
we're
with that?
going to contact Kieran.
Just to put double yellows on
Yeah,
both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Any others that people can be aware of, and then put them into the HIP for next March, and then process.
We did have some other ones on the hip, which he discounted. So there was one on Bluebell Road.
That's right, I remember that.
So like, because what they do is they do a site visit, or they have a look at the site to make sure it's viable to do it before, which Wayne's obviously.
It's the sort of thing
at
that
the time.
106 might cover, mightn't it?
No.
No.
And those decisions are recorded on the HIP, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I recall, it's because he had local knowledge of Churchill that he thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference, isn't it? If you're aware of the local issue. Okay, then, if we can then move on to 11.
So was there a vote on that one?
Yeah, oh, yeah, sorry.
Who proposed?
Councillor Lansley proposed.
I seconded it.
Councillor Wedgbury seconded, and we all.
Yeah.
Okay. Planning matters, to consider all planning applications received.
Right.
You know, I always think that we should do decisions first, but there you go. There you go.
Yeah, but the members looked at this, so do you want me to make some suggestions?
Yeah, I have looked at mine, but go on, take us through if you want to.
I was happy with the first two. The third one, I thought we should contact Great Chart and see if they want us to get involved, but otherwise don't. The fourth one is for our approval, so I suggest we don't comment. And I'm not sure what people's views are on the last one. I should step
Well, I think 17 Conquer Close, we should object over development of the site.
Well, I was pretty much in alignment with Councillor Ansley, so should we just quickly whip through then? The first one, 1 Mill Cottage. I had a look at the application, looked pretty sensible to me. I had that down as support or no comment.
Yes, I would agree there, yes.
Yeah, Stumble Lane,
No comment.
support.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very large building, and I think we should say that it shouldn't in any case.
Which one are you on? No, the very first one.
So it's, oh, yes,
Yeah.
I thought you wanted the second.
No. I think he was waiting for the minutes.
Yeah, so you want support or no comment?
It was support
Yeah.
on the first one, which is
Yeah.
the 2031.
Yep.
Yeah, and then 2063 is the,
I think that it's a really large building. They don't say what it's going to be used for, and I think we should say that there should never be any residential rights attached to it.
in terms of space though, to put it in, there's plenty of space. to
Oh,
put it in.
indeed, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
For those concerns, normally it says that there can't be a toilet in it and things like that.
Yeah.
They normally ask for conditions on that.
Yeah, but it
make
didn't have anything
accessible.
like that in the application, did it? There was no toilet in there. It was.
Well,
Yes.
you wouldn't technically need to put it on the plans.
No.
So there's difficulty there. But
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the comment is there that it shouldn't be for residential purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one, yes, I think that I shouldn't take part in this one, and possibly you as well, because this is part of what Ashford Borough Council is trying to get with Homes England for social housing. It's one of their things.
Yeah, I've
So
just put no
I would
comment.
like to abstain on that one.
I think it should be no comment from us, actually. Would be, I think as a parish, it's not in our parish in that sense. I think it's
So we
no
have
comment.
no comment.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I mean, I'm dealing with it with a different hat on, so
Yeah,
I would say no comment. And then 2173,
I've got an update on this one. It's not prior approval, it's retrospective.
yes,
We've got an update.
Yeah.
Just put noted.
I just put noted, but I looked at it and it looked pretty minor to me.
It's basically just changing the dining room conservatory into a single-story building.
Yeah.
Same size as a dining room.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. It just tidied it up, really.
Yeah.
But I think it's retrospective, isn't it? No doubt they want to sell their house. And 0927.
We've got a financial interest in this.
I've got down here, we've got a potential conflict of
Yes,
interest due to
indeed.
sponsorship, so I think it should be no comment.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Right. Anything else? No?
Sorry, I propose as do I need to do the whole batch?
Yeah.
I propose as discussed, Peter.
Thank you.
Second.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. And it's just noting.
Just note here.
Yeah, just note.
All right.
Yeah. And on the noting of the reason why isn't just me, but if we had the decisions of Ashford Borough Council before we discussed the applications, we would know which ones they hadn't agreed and they were still valid for us to discuss as an open planning application. That was all. It's just that I kept going through them all and finding there were still things like Meadow Court that were in both. Do you know what I mean? They were unfinished business, so it just keeps it there. Go. Any enforcement matters? Want to go through the update that we've had from the appeal?
Yes, basically got a bill notice today that the court was allowed. So obviously I sent that around to everyone.
Yeah. And there was nothing in there that they changed in any way.
No, there was a note from the drainage team about there wasn't any conditions in the planning appeal regarding the wastewater treatment works and the studs and water.
Councillor Ansley?
Sorry, there was an email from Peter about Shadowshurst and Kingsnorth drainage and Meadow Court.
I was going to say,
Can I suggest that we forward that to KCC, the lead local flood authority? Because I suspect Ashford will just say KCC, the lead local flood authority, is fine with it, and that will be there. Whereas I've spoken to them before, and they'd have a look at it. Because it's all about the rainfall amounts, which is going to be their issue rather than
Right.
it won't
So in
get
other words,
Ashford.
rather than go to ABC to give to KCC,
Go to
we'll
the
go to
consultancy,
KCC
yeah.
and advise Ashford that we've done it.
Yeah.
Okay, does that all make sense?
Yes.
sorry, can you say that again?
I'm proposing that we send it to KCC as lead local flood authority. I can forward you an email. Because they're the statutory consultee that deals with the surface water on the site, and that's what Shadowshurst drainage are raising. Whereas if it goes to Ashford, they'll just say statutory consultee is fine with it, rather than you're better off going to the statutory consultee and then.
Okay, but out of courtesy, tell Ashford what we've done.
Yeah.
Okay, councillor Ramsey's proposed,
I'll second that.
councillor Everybody seconding. Who would like to second that one? Councillor Hicks. Yeah. Right.
For Councillor Cosgrove did.
Well, they both did it at the same
Oh,
time.
okay.
Oh, take it. Emma all voting. Unanimous. Thank you. Right, and there was no any other. Oh, yes,
It
yes.
might be time to raise the issue. Councillor Ransley asked me to raise
Non-material amendments.
a non-material amendment issue with JTB, which I did, and basically the non-material amendment is for minor amendments to planning that Ashford Borough Council don't need to consult, and KCC is the highway authority, don't need to be consulted on. I understand that. One of the four phases of planning. It related to a site in Chilmington, which had gone from 60 visitor parking places down to 40, well, 68 down to 40. So they lost 20 visitor parking spaces. And I raised this issue at JTB. I also, by way of courtesy, sent an email to Simon Cole Planning to say that I was going to raise it at JTB, so he had an opportunity to respond and not be ambushed. And when I raised it, because it doesn't, the extra parking spaces that are then deleted throws those traffic back onto the roads, which will affect the swept paths of the emergency vehicles and the dustmen. And the borough councillors there and the KCC rep, which was Jamie Cunningham, and the KCC guys there expressed surprise that this was not a non-material amendment. It shouldn't have been pushed through. And one of the borough councillors said, it is becoming more noticeable now that developers are trying to push through amendments that should be consulted on through the method of the NMAs. So Jamie said he was going to take that back to his development team, as he felt that he should have been consulted on that issue. The other question was regarding to the non-completion of the highway surfacing at Discovery Drive. Everybody batted it straight back and said, because it's not finished, it's a developer issue. Go and talk to the developer. They'll only get involved once it's been adopted. Of course, it'll only be adopted once the final road surfacing is on. So it was a developer issue. So it was raised and it was noted and it's been carried forward.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Happy days.
There we go. Do we have any correspondence and written reports from external parties, Pete? No. Do we have any?
Have we missed some planning decisions out? Have we done A and
We noted the decisions.
Yeah, we know.
They're just, you
to
just.
note decisions, but we've missed some planning with Meadow Court, we've missed out and
No, because they're in that's why I said on the agenda, they're already decisions or with Ashford Borough Council. And they're still open, so they're not new applications.
yes, but they're ongoing
Yeah, but
discussions about them.
there's nothing else going on. We've made all our submissions. We did them at the last.
James has also raised about the Peter Finnis stuff that he sent over this afternoon. James just brought out there about us contacting.
That's what we were just saying.
Say again?
So James has copied into the email that Peter Finnis sent this afternoon,
All right.
and that's what James just proposed, that we send that report to KCC
KCC.
Plus.
Got you. Right, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's our update on Meadow Court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, where are we? Consider correspondence, haven't, the parish staff reports. That's your November report. Is anything you want to pull out or is it just?
Just the Christmas event's almost finished. Big thanks to Marie, although she's not here today, but big thanks to Marie for all her hard work putting this together. It's been a busy few weeks. is, you know, the workshops went down really well. So, card making was really good. And, we spoke to the deliverer of the workshop about potentially doing some more across the year. So like for Easter and stuff, but also about doing some in the evening as well, because we did it during the day.
Yeah.
So obviously, if we do something in the evening, we might get different people that aren't working. The wreath making and the glass decorating went really well. Both of them were fully booked, so sold out. The 2 events during the day, the 3 events during the day went okay. Probably not as busy as we hoped, but I think there's a lot of competition now. It's just so many things.
The weather
wasn't great. The market we ran on Saturday was really busy because obviously we linked it with the school PFA. So we had a really big footfall coming through, which is nice. The stallholders were pleased. They sold a lot of stuff, which is great. Me and Maria have had a chat about potentially looking at, you know, maybe not having a marquee next time because, you know, when we look at the figures, that probably took out. You know, if we hadn't had the marquee, we could have probably broken even. So, you know, you kind of learn from the experience. But it was nice, you know, it was nice. I know Chris came along on Sunday, didn't you? So there was some definitely positives from the day. Obviously, the weather, like Jim said, didn't help. But no, big thanks to the team that helped out through the days, and thanks to Trina Railing and Alison who came along and supported the events.
My wreaths all looks very nice on my door.
And also, obviously, we have secured a sponsorship. I don't know if anyone knows, but we secured £2,500 sponsorship for the country fair from Keighley Group. They're going to be headline sponsor for 2026. We're going to they're obviously going to bring along some figures, maybe, or dumpers, which they're going to come on show. And obviously, people can, they're thinking about what they can bring along, but they're really supportive of what we can do, which is good. That's it.
We got films, the film.
Oh, this weekend, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we've got 2 films this weekend. So we've got, can't say the names of the films, but we've got a festive film in the afternoon with a green man in it. And in the
church
in
video
the
license,
evenings, we've got a black and white film about life. So you might better work out what it is. The one in the afternoon, I think we've probably had about 80 people sign up for that, which is good. The one in the evening is about 30. So if anyone wants to come along, please do. Or you know any other residents want to come along, please get them signed up because it's going to be a good evening.
We're at Lodge that evening. We're going to Leeds Castle Lights. Right.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
But I think I'm doing coffees or something.
Pete, did we get back to that, the lady, the Blue Forest and try and book in the dates for next year?
We haven't yet.
Yeah, because we've got to get in there quick, haven't we, before she gets fully booked.
Yeah.
Okay, then any other updates from parish governments? We'll be going around first. Councillor.
Just want to raise something. Ashford Ladies Football Club doing a funding, trying to get funded on Sunday. They got a match. And, they're getting all the gate receipts which they don't normally get. It costs £10,000 to run the team. So any support for them going to the gate would be very helpful. Most of the ladies from the town, they play at step 6 in the ladies pyramid. So anything that can help them, because they don't get major help from the club, would be gratefully appreciated. And they asked me if I could raise it tonight, so I did.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cosgrove.
Yeah, thank you. John and I attended Calc on 26th of November. The Kent Police were there, Sergeant Dan Edge, who's beat sergeant in Ashford. The star thing he came up with, he was willing to meet parishes outside of parish times. But they can't send coppers here. We can have a special meeting with them if we've got some pressing issues. The main thrust of the meeting was ACRE. Kerry Outlaw attended, and basically they're in dire straits. They need more money to move forward. They need new organisation set up because they are a new organisation set up. So getting new grants to keep them going is very difficult. They've got to prove 2 years of accounts. They haven't been going 2 years, so they're struggling for money. There's been no money from DEFRA or ACREs nationally, or money from KCC for community wardens, so they're falling by the wayside. And they basically said the parishes don't contribute, then Kent ACRE closes by the end of March 25. They need about £85,000, which they will match from other funding. But with over 400 parish councils plus village halls, they are struggling. They do need funds, but there didn't seem to be an uptake of billing everybody or sending around this job. They weren't going to send around and say, can you contribute this amount? Because some parishes are very small, they won't be able to afford it, and their budgets have already been set. But it's a notional amount. But
didn't they say that they were going to put a crowdfunding page up, which is
they were going to try to do that, yeah.
Who is the they? Who is it, the organisation?
ACRE.
What is it?
That they advise on how to manage village halls,
village halls,
but as far as I'm aware, it's never something that we've used.
No.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've discussed them.
Action of community. I mean, yeah, they're quite slick. Anyway, they had feedback to the parish forum. East Kentish Design Co's Mark Chaplin was trying to engage parishes to complete the online survey and will come in at the end of January. There's a local plan update. There was an active travel consultation which we need to respond to. And additionally, DEFRA has a map that defines what's rural and what's urban. You can go on to that and have a look at it. Bit on local government reorganisation, bit on CALC last weekend. CALC AGM was poorly attended, but that's because it was in Rochester. And an annual policing survey has been sent to the clerks. Annual policing survey 25 sent to the clerks.
I've seen that.
Please fill in and respond, it says. And then additionally, Chair, I went to the JTB on the 2nd of December. Not a lot. Operation Brock it's going to be implemented over Christmas, but Toby was not present. The actual bus gates, CCTV, question was asked whether the CCTV is being self-funded through the fines and levies that they raise. CCTV, active travel update, children to footway, £50,000 upgrade. Is that right? Highways Works Programme, no HIPs, International Rail Services. They gave a very good presentation on the return of trains to Ashford and Ebbsfleet to be opened with Virgin buying some more trains. But Eurostar are against it. They don't want Ashford open because they're going to pay some money. They don't want to stop there. So they're going to dig their heels in and try and prevent any competition. Bus route financing was a written report, and Finbury Aldi shopping, they were looking at more publicity. That was it.
Thank you very much.
The just on Kent ACRE, they had a birth from Rural Kent Forum. That's where they're about rural affairs, really. So, and village halls sort of come into it. I thought the proposal was that they would put up a crowdfunding thing, ask parish councils to contribute. If they got all the parish councils, it's only like, I'm thinking about £270, but for bigger councils, perhaps more, we could afford more. But if there was a proposal for crowdfunding, could we afford put something into after?
That's the next.
It's quite interesting what you're saying about this organisation, because my partner, Mick Burgess, was very much involved with rural Kent, and this has grown out of it, and it failed on financial terms. I would never recommend that this parish council joins them. All the information is actually available online, and we're very efficient. So I think we should steer clear of this new organisation. The person who's running it's been to my house, and she is hasn't got the drive, I don't think, to see the whole thing coming forward. Thank you. Also, I went to the Flood and Water Conference at the end of November, mainly because there was a fellow from Spain who was coming over, and you know, we had all those dreadful floods down there, and I wanted to hear what he got to say. Unfortunately, he got a rather strong accent, and he's rather difficult to follow. But very fortunately, they actually had a screen, and at the very end there was a synopsis of what he said, and you'll never guess what the top one was. Never build in a floodplain. Haven't we been saying this for years? And the Spanish government has just realised that that's that. So I think if the Spanish government does that, then I think Ashford Borough Council should say the same thing. Also, the Riverstone Internal Drainage Board have the people have got to get a drainage consent, and you know, we keep hearing about the neutrality thing, and there's ways of doing it. And just down the road at Blythe Wood, they're making an idea to keep the nutrients going out of the woods there. So you've got a little drainage ditch, and they're making little, I don't know, branches off it. It goes down so that all the nitrates are kept down there. They've actually got 3 of those. So it means to say that developers will be able to buy these sort of credits, and those are some of them. Also, I was over at Marshalling, and for the railways, the overall station usage is up to 93% of what it was before COVID. And then we're talking about this appeal decision for Court Lodge Farm, and I was looking through it, and on paragraph 34, it's actually talking about 106 money for provision for funds towards community building, a community stewardship body to manage and maintain communal facilities, etc., etc. And I would like us to keep an eye on this, because I think that we need community facilities in Kingsnorth, and Court Lodge actually is more of a central location when you consider all of the different estates we've got. So I would like us to sort of monitor this so we never actually lose this money. That's it.
Councillor Giles.
Obviously, next week on Tuesday, there's going to be a consultation about Finbury Village Hall here in this pavilion, isn't there? It starts at 3 o'clock, I think, and then runs till.
I think I did order about parking. She started at 3.
Yeah, I think it's like 3:30 onwards. I think maybe finishing at about 7. I'm not too sure. But basically, that they're having a consultation coming up here and having a look at their plans for what they're proposing in terms of a small village hall in Finbury, and like playing courts and a mugger and different things. So it would be worthwhile, hopefully, us popping along if we can to put in our 5p piece to this consultation. Also, I met with the charity Include Us Too. They've been running for about 15 years. They are a charity in Ashford. They work across different parts of Kent as well. They support mainly parents of children with severe SEND or disabilities. And basically, they run these 6-week autism courses, which they'll be running again next year. It allows the parent to understand more about their child and their diagnosis. And on the 6th week, they are invited to the charity. They have a massive space over near Goat Lees area. And they are able to create resources like now and next boards, Macadam sheets, different signs and stuff like that, to help them within the home. I think it'd be a good idea, because we do have families that live in Kingsnorth with children with learning disabilities and SEN needs. that perhaps maybe we get in connection with this charity and have things like a signposting poster on our parish boards. So if you, so if you'd like, I can get Lucy to contact us maybe with just a generic poster of ways. Yeah. They also run a youth club on a Wednesday for 14 to 25-year-olds. That is at the building. Here go Lee's. And they do all different types of things there, from cooking to in sort of the warmer months, they take them out and do things without parents being there, giving them some sort of independency away from parental roles, but also socialising with other different people within our community as well. So they're a fantastic charity. As I say, they've been running for 15 years, and they are a great support to many families, and families in Kingsnorth would greatly are missing out if they haven't already got in contact with include us too. The other thing is the annual CSU report came to Ashford Borough Council, and it reports a decline actually in ASB crime in Ashford, and also violence against women and girls, which is great. It seems that we've got a reduction in that. And all the different ways of working with Ashford Borough Council, working with Kent Police and other different organisations that work in those different types of areas, sees that obviously something is working and it's getting better. Next year, we are going to be obviously continuing with that. There will be a new round of new funding that comes from the health and something rather like, it's a long one for me, but basically it's funding for different things like also like teenagers in the town centre. So for instance, last year you may have seen there was some football netting out. They were doing some football skills in the town on some dates. They also did some gaming things. So that will be happening again next year. And another thing to look out for is that Ashford Borough Council will be promoting the White Ribbon campaign, which is a charity that started many years ago by men who are making a stand about men being violent towards women. So councillors will be wearing a white ribbon badge. March is International Women's Day, and it might be something that as a parish council we have on our socials as well. So yeah, that's basically my updates from that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Everybody's been quite busy.
One. My wife had a complaint from an elderly gentleman walking from Chart Road to Washford Farm. It's the only kind of like path through to the bus stop there, and it's something I bring up every year. I did get a little bit of action on Aspire, put some more rubble down, but it really needs a footpath right the way through, because it's just walking on muddy clay. You know, I know we saved a little bit of money on our footpaths. Might still have some money left in budgets for footpaths, and I wondered whether I could, or we could, me and Peter could put a proposal for a footpath through that to connect up the two estates.
A reminder of what it is, because it won't be on our land.
It's not our land.
No, it's Ashford Borough Council, so
we can't do it on. It's not on our land, sadly.
Okay, so
could you redirect it to
That's who we met with. We met with Dave Hardy from.
Yeah.
And copy in yeah.
If you could send me is it the one that goes from Chart Road?
The one we've seen before, yeah. I think I've raised
a reminder where it is. Our contact, Borough Councillor and Aspire.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's not.
We can't
do it on our land. But there's something stopping us directing it to the people that should be.
Yeah, I just thought one thing that I forgot to mention in my report. Sadly, one of our Christmas trees has been stolen yet again from Washford Farm.
Same place as before.
No, down the road. So we put it in a different place. It's still been stolen.
Good.
So they won't be getting one next year.
No.
Okay, I did see it and appreciate it, but
Are we going to address that at all?
I'll be reporting it to the
Yeah,
rest, but obviously they won't. Nothing will happen.
Just
Okay.
add that it's next to a bus stop, next to our sign,
Mhm.
It was full of concrete, wasn't it?
20 kilos worth.
Yeah, I know. Must have had a big lorry to take it away, I think.
Okay, I'm conscious of the time, everybody got 5 minutes before the end of the meeting, so, is there anything else that we need to pick up? Sorry?
No, it's just the action sheet.
It's action sheet, isn't it? Yeah. Just noting your action
No,
sheet.
it
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
okay.
for the next agenda, is January looking quite busy or not?
Hmm.
They got the option if we have any.
Yeah, depends if we've got, right.
So I just looked at the design code. It's the questionnaire is pretty much just a set of pictures and saying, do you like this one or not for your area?
Okay.
Which I'm not sure is appropriate. I think we might want to do a bit more than that. So there is the national design code. So I don't know if you want to have a look through that together and get some ideas of what we might want to put in the letter in addition to.
Also, if John can circulate those notes that he had from what we were shown, but I'm with you, because otherwise it's just a token gesture. isn't it?
There is a national one, and there's no reason we can't look through that and say, for our area, something like this, it's particularly important, things like that.
Why have we got an East Kent one? Because we normally had a,
Well,
Kent sign. Yeah, not an East Kent.
so there's a Kent one for highway, definitely. And it sounds like they're talking about at a later stage, it's going to get more specific to the local areas.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure why they're asking, is this particular building attractive to you for your area at the start, if later on is when that.
Yeah.
No, it's not the best that
I
one.
think you want to look at the national one and say, we like this bit and that bit. And
So in the local plan, they should update their design codes, and this is probably the time to actually mention things that are not really in there.
Well, the position is if you haven't got one, which actually doesn't, then the national one applies. So at the moment, the national one is what planning committee and officers are supposed to be following.
Well, what's the relevance of an East Kent one?
Well, if you're supposed to have a local one eventually, but if you haven't got one, the default is the national one. So really, the national one's probably what I want to look at and say, like, it really work for us. We want to
That's where we want to
move it here or there, and it's probably the easiest way to do it, I would think.
When does that consultation end? And it's on the website?
Well, for most of the councils, it ends on the 9th of November. I don't know for Ashford, it sounds like it's all a bit fuzzy.
Oh, they're meeting on the 10th, but this chap at the council said it was January.
I mean, I suppose we could send an email to Ashford and say we're going to discuss it at our next meeting.
Well, we asked him if he could have it for this meeting.
Yeah.
Because that's what he said. He came to a parish forum and telling us that we're all going to be consulted in
I said it
December.
the same day as Alison not about it.
And he's not had a reply, but Jeff's got an invitation
Personal invitation
to bed, to bed.
To Ben.
And that didn't work.
There's only three
That's what I think.
documents on the emergent evidence-based documents that the local plan is has got. So, and the comments from Alison Ardley, I think her name is, was that it's very scant in detail, the local plan. There's not much coming through.
Can I say there is a local plan meeting tomorrow afternoon to which I'm going,
Right, if you could find out what's going on.
and I am extremely hopeful that we will be able to have the sites actually identified. Because at the moment it's been wishy-washy and it's all been different principles that they got to apply, different conditions to different sites. So hopefully everybody in Ashford will then know. So we may well find that we've got quite a busy meeting in January, won't we?
Yeah.
Publish. Yeah.
Okay, well, do you think they'll hit send and publish it before Christmas?
Probably
Don't
on the
know.
24th.
I can
Yeah.
ask, I can
What
ask.
do you do?
I imagine it'd take a while, but
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
We close the meeting.
We're about to.
I would like to know whether dark skies policies are still applying.
Yes. Right, I'm going to close the meeting now, officially, and then we can have a chat about it and turn the machine off then. Thank you.